All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect which in word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. These so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom dwelling in called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson. This is going to be a quick lesson, and I might do a follow-up lesson on it concerning the uproar of the people in the world, because we're living in a time when you have so much science playing out. And that's one of the reasons why the disciples said unto Yahushua at the Mount of Olives, so when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And in that word world there, you go back to age, aeon. Now when this rulership will come to an end and the kingdom of Israel be established, that is exactly what them are asking. And he give them signs to look for, just as when the Lord speak to Esdras, the Lord tell Esdras, say, this way man said to him is revealed unto him and a few like him. So it's a blessing just to see the signs of my plate and understand what these signs truly represent, because a lot of people don't have a clue. I don't even want to say them and live them life, because what they're doing is not living, that's death. So let's read this precept. I'm going to run a clip so you understand what I'm really speaking on. So this is 2 Esdras 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of a science past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time wherein the eyes will begin to visit the world which he made. So the Lord has show you, even Isaiah 29 verse 6, the Lord show you, you're going to visit the earth with so-called natural disasters, But who consider when these things transpire that the Lord shake up the earth, People in business. And that's the mindset of people in this day and age. Verse 3, therefore, and there shall be seen earthquakes and uproar of the people in the world. And I want to say, a couple of days ago, I've done a couple of videos concerning earthquakes, because they have a lot of earthquakes transpiring, and them transpiring in clusters in various locations. That was part of the prophecy where Yahushua told his disciple at the Mount of Olives, say, I got earthquakes in diverse places. Now what transpiring now, more and more uproar of the people in the world, because we're coming upon chaotic times. So let's play this clip.
All right, folks, you had better lock in, because the Trump administration right now is sending a very clear signal to China and Russia that you do not screw with America anymore. We are back is the signal that they are sending. I want you to listen to what Marco Rubio has to say right here.
I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international law is. They certainly don't get to determine is how the United States defends its national security. The United States is under attack from organized criminal narco-terrorists in our hemisphere, and the president is responding in the defense of our country. I do find it interesting that all these countries want us to send, and supply, for example, nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to defend Europe. But when the United States positions aircraft carriers in our hemisphere where
Now, that is just one of the mission statements that are being sent out by the Trump administration, because it's not being televised, but we are in a form of civil unrest today. Trump is preparing to release and initiate the Insurrection Act. That will give sweeping powers to the government in the ways that they operate here on American soil. And this might be why I want
you to hear the words that he just used, sweeping act. And when he used the word, the first thought come to my mind is what is written in 2 Ezra 16. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. This is how the mother come at you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because you're the main enemy of these heathens, yo. Whether you know it yes or no. Because you're the chosen seed of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
You to watch this video and just see how dangerous things are actually getting for the immigration enforcement federal officials that are working and operate on U.S. soil today. Now you can see this official right here. He goes for his hand onto his service duty weapon, and he does that immediately because he can feel the building tension of the crowd around him. That it wouldn't take but a thought from any one of these individuals to start either pulling a weapon of their own, throwing bricks, somebody coming in with a vehicle that would pin him against this white vehicle that he is against. And you can see he's not really looking behind him. He really has to be head on a swivel 24 hours a day because of the way that things are going inside of our country. Now, people are reported to have screamed inside of this video and others, bring weapons. And so they are literally arming themselves against the wider federal government. Trump will act so quickly.
Stop. Let's get on the preset. So this is 2 Ezra 15 verse 14. So woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition amongst men. Look at that word sedition. Look what it represents, yo. Uprising of the people against the authorities, meaning the leaders. So it says, for there shall be sedition amongst men, and invaded one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. What do you mean by them not go regard their prince? Them not go listen to the laws what get passed, yo. Them are going to rebel against various measures what get implemented because of what? People them are going to say the government is not for them, yo. And one of the main catalysts is going to be the lack of bread. So that's why it's clear say, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, meaning anything they mind perceive that is what they're going to do. Verse 7 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to, because you got martial law get declared, state of emergency, curfew. And these are the times that we are coming into. You know, a lot of people them can't see as far as, I'm going to say the prophets, I'm going to say it that way, you know. They lack understanding. So I'm going to show you what's going on in various countries. Because the scripture says uproar of the people in the world, not just in America, in the world.
So quickly to bring martial law into the United States of America that these people do not even understand the fire that they are playing with. You know, there's a different thought process. One, you can teach your kids about fire and fire safety, and one, you let them get burnt. I believe in teaching your children about fire safety, but we are right now witnessing the Republican side saying, hey, let them get burnt. Let them see what happens. Trump has said it. Pete Hegseth has said it. You F around, you find out. And so that is maybe the direction that they are allowing this to go. This could, and this is going to fuel the left side. This is going to fuel them all to feel like, look, they pushed away the immigration enforcement there. We can do it here. So they'll do it in Dallas, Texas, New York City, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Chicago, Illinois. They'll do it in Atlanta, Georgia. They'll do it across California. And as soon as they get enough confidence that they can keep pushing back immigration enforcement, Trump will have to act. The Department of Homeland Security will be forced into action. They'll make a show of force. They will not just sit by and let this kind of thing take place. Now, this video shows you that this is not just an American problem. Revolutions, protests, and unrests are happening in Greece. They're happening in Italy. They're happening in Germany. They are happening in California. They're happening in New York City. They're happening in Iran. Multiple countries right now are in a stage of revolution. This is Minneapolis. This is over in Iran. Now you can tell, once the Molotov cocktails come out, you've got days left. Once they start doing this type of thing, you literally have days left. So just keep that as a little word to the wise here in the United States of America, that once the protesters start lighting things on fire, and I'm not just talking about a trash can or a dumpster, once they start throwing the Molotov cocktails, guys, it is almost go time.
Yeah, that's what I said. The instigators show up later in the night. They come here after the sun goes down, and then the crowd changes from people holding signs and dressed in normal clothes to look at everybody here. They're all dressed in black. You notice that? Everybody's dressed in black. Did you notice that? Yeah. Everybody's dressed in black. Helmets, black jeans, black hoodies. They usually have either a gas mask on.
What does his flag say right here?
Or they have or jeans, black hoodies. They usually have either a gas mask on, or they have some. Everybody here is in black. Kid in that backpack. I've seen it from the other protests. There's usually either rocks, frozen water bottles, or tear gas. Sometimes they have a hammer to break cement off.
And what they use right now, the reason he said frozen water bottles is because they're being taught by some sort of either anti-government funding that is either paying them to do this or some other action. They're being taught that you use frozen water bottles, you use frozen fruit, frozen.
And why it have to be anti-government? It could have been control opposition, you know. That's the thing. PSYOP.
Things because they hit as hard as a rock. They will kill somebody. But by the time it gets to evidence, the time that court brings it before you, it just looks like a water bottle. It looks like a soft piece of fruit. So they're... It just looks like a water bottle. It looks like a soft piece of fruit. So they're being taught these actions across our country.
That prohibits that.
Okay, so this is out of Florida. They are slamming the door, they say, on illegal immigration, a way that no other state.
So, just showing you what's going on in the world, you know, and how serious the days are getting, you know. So, hope this is edifying that I want to say, Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakodash, Shalom.